All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call Halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right, so as you see on screen here, I got this article from the People's Voice. All right, and it says NATO chief tells Europe to prepare for a war with Russia. Yeah, because that is exactly what is coming. All right, this is biblical prophecy. This is what the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying. All right, the Lord is gearing up all these nations and gathering up all these nations to prepare for war, because that is exactly what is coming. All right, we've been telling you this, and I say we, humbly, hopefully I'm part of the elect. I'm one of the Lord's true chosen prophets. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Raktazah. All right, but we've been out on the highways and hedges telling you this, preaching and prophesying you this, while you're calling us crazy, scoffing and scorning. See, all you other people are just walking around aimlessly, not knowing what's going on. All right, not knowing that, the earth is getting ready to be swallowed and engulfed by nuclear fire. All right, and I'm gonna get the scriptures to back this title up real quick. All right, right now the Lord is gearing up and preparing all the nations for war, man. All right, because it's biblical prophecy. World War III is biblical. The whole world is at war right now. Right now, the whole world is at war, man. You understand? So it's time for the rest of you elect out there, all right, to stop messing around and come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Because now is the time, man. Put not off from day to day, like the scriptures say. All right? Unless you want to be swallowed and engulfed by nuclear fire, all right, you come back to Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai. All right? And this is exactly what NATO was created for. All right, to combat Russia in case Russia got too strong. All right, and it's biblical prophecy that Russia is going to be the main one to destroy America. It's going to be Russia and Russia's allies, man. Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right, going to come against the land of Israel, what's known as the land of Israel today, and America. All right, the land of unwalled villages. All right, Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right, but again, going off this title, NATO chief tells Europe to prepare for a war with Russia. Yeah, because that's prophecy. We've been prophesying about this, man. All right. When you read, matter of fact, I got it right here. Why was NATO created? All right. NATO was created in 1949 as a mutual defense alliance by the U.S., Canada, and Western European nations to counter Soviet expansionism. All right. You see? All right, just in case the Soviet Union, which is now Russia, got too strong and big. All right, but the Lord said in the last days, when you read Ezekiel the 38th chapter, that he's going to raise up Russia, put hooks in the jaws of Russia. All right, he said he's going to turn. Matter of fact, let's grab it, man. I just don't want to. All right, let's grab it. Ezekiel 38. All right, Ezekiel 38. All right. All right. So Ezekiel 38:4, as you see, as the title reads, all right, prophecy about Gog and the future invasion of Israel. Gog represents Russia and the future invasion of Israel. Yeah. All right. Because when you read this chapter, it's about Russia destroying the land of Israel. All right. But it's twofold. It's talking also about America when you read down. All right. First and foremost, this is talking about Israel, but it's twofold, all right? Ezekiel 38:11, it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, all right? A land without walls is what? A land without protection. Why is Israel and America known as the land of unwalled villages? All right, like I said, first and foremost, is talking about the land, what's known as the land of Israel today. All right, why is it known as the land of unwalled villages? A land without walls is a land without protection. All right, it's known as the land of unwalled villages because there's not going to be any type of missile defense system. All right, that's going to stop the ICBM missiles that's coming from Russia. All right, there's not going to be any type of defense missile that's strong enough or powerful enough or advanced enough, all right, to stop the missiles coming from Russia, man. You know, they have a missile that flies 11,000 miles per hour, man. Hit anywhere on this earth within 15 minutes or less. All right, known as Satan 1. All right, I think it's actually called Satan 2. Look it up. So it's going to happen because it's prophecy, and the Lord said, my word shall not return unto me void. All right, that's Isaiah 55 and 11, if I'm not mistaken. All right, it shall go whithersoever I shall please. You know, roughly paraphrasing. All right, but anyway, let's go back up. It says right here, Ezekiel 38 and 4. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Yeah, the Lord's going to do that to Russia. He's going to bring Russia back, all right, to bring that powerful and fierce nation it once was during the time of the Soviet Union, man. I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, talking about Russia, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor. Woo! All right, even a great company with bucklers and shield, all of them handling swords. Woo! You see? Talk in that you see that happening right now. The Lord is raising up. It started with the invasion of Ukraine, man, the Russian and Ukraine war. All right, but let's go back to this article. You know, NATO chief tells Europe to prepare for war with Russia, and this whole world is at war right now. You got the Russian and Ukraine war, all right, which North Korea is also involved in. You got the tensions between China and Taiwan, and if I'm not mistaken, there's also tensions between China and Japan. Right, you got the Israel at war with Hamas. All right, you got Israel at war with Iran. Right, you got the tensions between China and the U.S. You got the war going on with the U.S. and Venezuela, and Russia's also involved in that because you got Russia giving Venezuela military weapons. All right, the Lord is gathering because that time is very close. The time that the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord have been prophesying about is getting ready to come to pass, man. It is very evident, man, now who the true prophets of and the true servants of the Lord are, man. And it's not your Christian pastor, man, that hides in these churches on Sunday, man, that can't be seen. All right? You know, matter of fact, let's get that what's that? Come near. What's that? Come near, all ye heathen. All right, because like I said, it's prophecy. The Lord is bringing all these nations together to prepare for war. I think it's Ezekiel 34, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get it. No, this ain't it. Let me just Google it real quick. Come near, all ye heathen. KJV. That's in it. Nah, there's one in Ezekiel that I want. Let me see real quick. Is it Ezekiel 36? Nah, man, that's not what I want. Oh, man. Give me a second. Let me pause the video. All right, so it was Joel. All right, so let's get it. Yeah, it's Joel 3 and 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen. Yeah, the heathen nations, all right? All the nations outside of the nation of Israel, all right? Which a nation is the people before it's a place. All the nations that are not Israelite nations, all the nations that are not Israelites, man. All right, Joel 3 and 11. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Yeah, the Lord is bringing all these nations together round about. All right, thither cause thy mighty ones to come up, O Yahweh. All right, because the Lord is bringing all these nations together, gathering them for war. Joel 3 and 1. Assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. That's right. It's a prophecy right here. All right. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down. Yeah, all the men of war. All right. The top men, chiefs of war. O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shaphat. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's name, and Shaphat meaning judgment. Yahweh's judgment. The judgment for these nations is to bring all these nations together so the Lord could destroy them. And in this third world war, it's the Lord that's doing this. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Yeah, and how is the Lord going to judge them? By thermonuclear destruction in this third world war. He's bringing all these nations together just so they could destroy themselves by nuclear fire. The Lord is doing that for us. And when I say us, I'm talking about the Israelites, the nation of Israel. The Lord is bringing all these nations down. He's getting ready to destroy them so he could bring the true Israelites back up to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet Earth. Because we can't do it on our own. We need Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai to do it for us. And he is going to do it for us. It's prophecy, man. Everything all these nations have done to the nation of Israel, all throughout the course of history, the true Israelites, all right, because Israel's been in captivity since forever, man. You know, ever since Solomon's sin, when Solomon started worshiping the other gods, we fell, and ever since then we've been in captivity and in slavery, man. You've been wicked as hell, you know, but the Lord is bringing us back in these last days. Amos 9 and 11, all right, Joel 3 and 12. All right, and I'm gonna try not to make this video too long because I gotta go. All right, Joel 3 and 12. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Yeah, the harvest represents the end of this age, the end of the world. All right, world meaning the end of this age. All right, there's a new world that's coming, all right, which is the world of Israel, which first and foremost is the world of Yahweh Shai, the age of Yahweh Shai, because first and foremost is his age, his kingdom, which is the kingdom of Israel, starting with Yahweh Shai, all right, and then it's shared with the rest of the elect. Joel 3 and 13, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Yeah, the harvest, the age, the end of the world, the end of this age, which is Esau's age, all right, is about to be over. All right, come get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. That's right. The scriptures say, for wickedness has exceedingly polluted this earth. So the Lord is getting ready to make it rain fire on this earth, because fire is the best cleansing agent. It's going to cleanse this earth. It's going to melt the elements and bring everything back to its original state. All right, Joel 3 and 14. All right, multitudes in the valley of decision. In the valley of decision, the decision of the Lord is to bring all these nations together, all right, so he could destroy themselves by nuclear fire in this third world war. For the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision, all right? The sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, because the thick smoke, you know, the mushroom clouds, and the thick smoke that's going to come from these nuclear missiles, all right, it's going to create all these mushroom clouds and this thick smoke, man, to where the light from the sun, the moon, and the stars are not going to be able to penetrate it. So it's going to be a very dark day, literally dark day, man. And dark also metaphorically as well, meaning this ain't going to be a good day, man. Nuclear missiles are going to fall upon this earth. All right? It's only going to be a good day for the elect. All right, it's going to be salvation unto the elect. All right, which the elect is also known as the 1/3 in the Bible, also known as the house of David, the tabernacle of David, also known as the Israel of the Most High Yahweh. All right, Joel 3 and 16. All right, the Lord Yahweh also shall roar out of Zion and utter his voice from Jerusalem. That's right. And the heavens and the earth shall shake. Yeah, that's right. From the nuclear missiles. The heavens and the earth shall shake, because these nuclear missiles are going to hit this earth and shake the entire earth. The whole earth is going to rock. That's how powerful these nuclear. You got to understand, because the nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth in this third world war that's getting ready to happen in the very, very near future. All right. The nuclear missiles that are going to hit this earth, that's the anger of the Lord. That's the fierce anger and the fierce wrath of the Lord. All right. When you read Isaiah, let's get it. All right. Isaiah, the 24th chapter, let's get it. It tells you that the earth is going to rock to and fro, like how a drunk man staggers when he's too drunk. Right? Let me see. Let me find it real quick. Real, all right? So this is Isaiah 24 and 20. It says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 19. Isaiah 24:19 right here. It says, the earth is utterly broken down. Yeah, because of the nuclear missiles. All right. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. Woo. All right. The earth is exceedingly moved. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard. Woo. So the whole earth is going to rock. Because these ain't no regular nuclear. These nuclear missiles are the wrath of the Lord. It's going to be something way greater than what you've seen in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, man, because that was the beginning of the nuclear age, right? That's the first time a bomb, all right, on that level has ever been detonated and used on a country, all right? It says Isaiah 24 and 20, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, yeah. All right. And it shall fall and not rise again. Yeah, this current age, this current world we're living in. Right. Because the new world is coming. The Lord is getting ready to bring down the age of Esau, Edom. Right. The so-called white man, starting with the elite bankers. All right. The wicked, satanic, Illuminati, Edomite banking families. All right. He's getting ready to bring them down. You know, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. All right. The DuPonts, the Collins family. All right. Bring them all down. All right, and they're going into slavery and captivity, right? All right, but let's finish this off in Joel. It says, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people. Who are the Lord's people? The nation of Israel, the Israelites. All right? See, the nation of Israel is the only ones that are going to be saved and redeemed out of this time. And not just every Israelite, only the elect, the 1/3. The 2/3 of the nation of Israel got to be destroyed in this madness as well. Because they didn't come back to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right? But the Lord Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel, you see? During this time, right? But let's keep reading. Joel 3 and 17. All right, matter of fact, let's just let's go up. Let's actually go up too. Yeah. All right. Joel 3 and 9, because I really meant to start at 9. It says, Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Because like I said, that's what's coming. All right. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Woo. All right. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Yeah, a plowshare and a pruning hook are farming tools. The Lord said, beat them into swords and spears. Yeah, because it's time for war. War is coming. Third World War. Nuclear missiles are getting ready to be dropped on this earth. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Bible. All right. Coming out of the mouths of the prophets. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, let all these countries that were once weak, let them say they are strong. Yeah, because they are now strong. All right. You know, all these nations now have nuclear power or some type of strength. All right. Because at one time, only America had that great power. And that's why all these other nations, they feared America. But nobody fears America no more because they have that same power now. All right? Nobody feared. That's why what's getting ready to happen is going to happen. Let the weak say I am strong. None of these nations fear America because they all now have nuclear power just like America. Right? So America can't really bully around these nations anymore, man. All right, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together around about thither, cause thy mighty ones to come up. Yeah, the Lord is saying, come together, all you nations, all right, to prepare for this war. This is prophecy, this third world war. All right, and it's the Lord that's doing this too. It's the Lord's doing, man. The Lord is bringing all these nations because this is the will of the Lord. All right, what's that? Zephaniah 3. I always bring this out, but I feel like I haven't brung it out in a long time, actually. All right. Zephaniah 3 and 8, it says, therefore wait ye upon me, save the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations. That's right. It's the Lord's determination. It's his will to gather all these nations together for this third world war. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Woo! All right? You see? So it's the Lord that's bringing all these nations together for this third world war. The Lord is a man of war. Matter of fact, let's get that. Exodus 15 and 3. All right, Exodus 15 and 3. The Lord Yahweh is a man of war. All right, the Lord Yahweh is his name. All right, Yahweh is a man of war. Yahweh is his name. Woo! All right, the Lord is a man of war. All right, and I didn't even get into this article yet. I'm just going off the title, man. But matter of fact, let's get into this because I didn't even read it yet. We're going to read it together. All right. But, just going off this title alone, I've been breaking things down, giving you this lesson. All right. So let's just read this article, man. See what's going on, man. All right. Russia could attack a NATO country within the next 5 years. All right. But it's probably going to be sooner. But, if the Lord wants it like that, what can we do? That we're on Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's time. Right. But it don't seem like we got 7 years here, bro. Or 6 years, 5 years, bro. Talks about digital IDs coming. You hear about it every single day, if you don't live under a rock. If you're paying attention, right? Russia could attack a NATO country within the next 5 years, according to Secretary General Mark Rutte. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference in Germany, the NATO chief said that Europe needs to prepare for a war with Russia on a scale not seen since World War II. Yeah, exactly. Bro, this war is going to be the World War III, is the war that's going to be be the war that end all. This is going to be the last major. There's not going to be any more wars on Earth after this third world war. Because Yahweh Shai is coming to crack that sky with the angels during this time of the third world war. And then after this third world war, he's going to raise up the nation of Israel, the true Israelites, the Negro, Latino, Native American man, to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet Earth once again. And then drop them down back into the Holy Land. And when the Israelites are dropped back in, the true Israelites are dropped back into the Holy Land, there's not going to be any more wars on Earth. That's written in Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Let's get that. All right. So the third world war is going to be the war to end all wars. And it's not going to be boots on the ground war. It's going to be a nuclear war, a war burning with fire. All right, like it tells you in what's that? Isaiah 9. Let's get that. Isaiah 9 and 5. It says, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood." Yeah, because that's what war is. It's a bloody thing, right? For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, meaning, this war, World War III, right? But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. All right, that's the type of war, all right, World War III is going to be. with burning and fuel of fire. Woo! All right? But let's get back to Isaiah 2 to show you that, you know, there's not going to be any more wars on earth when Yahweh Shai comes back and raises the true Israelites to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet earth again. Once the true Israelites are back into the Holy Land, there's not going to be any more wars on earth. And that's how we know the people in the land of Israel today, they're not the real Jews that the Bible speaks of. They're the damn devil that the Bible speaks of. All right? Because we know, because of prophecy written in the scriptures. When the true Israelites return to the Holy Land, there's not going to be any more wars on earth. The Israelites are going to be at peace. All right, so if they're the true Israelites, why if you say that the people in the nation in the land of Israel today are the true Israelites, why are there wars on earth? Why are they at war right now? Right? But anyway, let's get straight to the point. All right. You know, I want to get the context too, but matter of fact, I'll read it and not break it down so much. You know, I'll just get to the point. It says, Isaiah 2:1, the word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. So this is a vision that Isaiah saw, right? Concerning who? Judah and Jerusalem. All right? Which is the nation of Israel. It's not concerning anybody else. It's concerning Judah and Jerusalem. All right? Which are the Israelites, man. All right? It says the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right? It says Isaiah, all right? Judah, you know, it represents, you know, the southern kingdom. You know, Jerusalem is also in the southern kingdom. All right? But this is, you know, represents all the nation of Israel. All right? Isaiah 2:2, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, which we are in now, all right, that the mountain of the Lord's house, all right, mountains represents governments and nations, right, and kingdoms, right? But the mountain of the Lord's house is what? The nation of Israel. So in the last days, it says right here, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house, which is the nation of Israel, shall be established in the top of the mountains. Yeah. So the Lord is getting ready to bring up the nation of Israel to rule over all these other mountains, which is all these other nations. When Yahweh Shai comes back, there's only one nation, one people that's going to rule this planet Earth. And all the other nations is going to be subject unto that one nation. That one nation that's going to rule is the nation of Israel. And all the other nations are going to be subjects and slaves to the nation of Israel in the kingdom of heaven when Yahweh Shai returns, right? It says, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow into it. Yeah. All the nations are going to have to listen to the laws that we were given to. Because the laws that we were given, all right, the Israelites were given, all right, by Yahweh, all right, from Yahweh. Those are the laws that are going to govern this entire earth when Yahweh Shai comes back, right? When we're put back in rulership, all right? Isaiah 2:3, it says that many people shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the Most High of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways. Yeah, because they're going to have to learn our ways and our laws, all right? Our ways and our laws is what's going to govern this earth, all right? It says, and we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord Yahweh from Jerusalem. And it shall, this is the point right here. It says, and he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people. And they shall beat their swords into plowshares, and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. You see? So when the Lord raises up, when Yahweh Shai comes back and raises up the nation of Israel to be kings and gods and rulers of this planet Earth once again, there's not going to be no more wars on earth. When the Israelites are back into the Holy Land, there's not going to be no more wars on earth. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, all right? Neither shall they learn war anymore, you see? So we know the people in the land of Israel, they're not the true Israelites, all right? Because of prophecy, man. They don't fulfill prophecy. All right. But let's keep going. Let's read this article. All right. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference in Germany, the NATO chief said that Europe needs to prepare for a war with Russia on a scale that on a scale not seen since World War II. Yeah, all right. It's going to be a war to end all. There's not going to be any time like this. All right, it's going to be a time that this earth has never seen before. All right, like it tells you in Daniel, right? Daniel 12, right? It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people. All right, and there shall be a time of trouble. Yeah, this time of trouble is talking about the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, such as never was since there was a nation even to that same time. Yeah, so there's coming a time of trouble upon the nation of Israel. All right, the Israelites, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that the Native Americans that this world has never seen before. But also going into this getting ready to come, like we read in Isaiah 9. Right, Isaiah 9, it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. Bro, what's getting ready to come is something crazy. When you read Malachi, right, Malachi the first is, no, Malachi 4. Let's get it. Mal 4, right? It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. So there's getting ready to come a day that's going to burn as an oven, which is this third world war, when these nuclear missiles rain upon this earth, pelt this earth, right? Malachi 4:1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven. Woo! And all the proud, and who's the proud? Esau, Edom, the Edomites, and 2/3 of the nation of Israel. And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. Woo! And the day that cometh shall burn them up. Woo! Save the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Yeah. All right, it's going to leave you neither root nor branch. When something is plucked up from the root, it doesn't grow back. So you're going to get plucked up from the root. You're not going to be left neither root nor branch. You're going to be as if you never were. You're going to, these people are getting ready to drown in this nuclear fire. All right, we read earlier Zephaniah 3:8. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right. It says, he said, Russia has brought war back to Europe, and we must be prepared on the scale of war our grandparents and great-grandparents endured. Woo! It's going to be way larger than it's going to be on the scale that this earth has never seen before, man. All right? Rutt's warning comes as U.S. President Donald Trump tries to bring an end to Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine launched in February 2022. Earlier this month, Russia's President Vladimir Putin said his country was not planning to go to war with Russia, but is ready right now if Europe wants to or started a war. But similar reassurances were given by Moscow in 2022 just before 200,000 Russian troops crossed the border and invaded Ukraine. All right, Putin has accused European countries of hindering U.S. efforts. Putin has accused European countries of hindering U.S. efforts to bring peace in Ukraine, a reference to the role Ukraine's European allies have recently played in trying to change a U.S. peace plan to end the war. But no peace is coming. All right, no peace is coming. All right, whose initial draft was seen as favoring Russia. All right, let's see where I'm at real quick. All right, it says, but Putin was not sincere. NATO Secretary General said in the German capital, Berlin. All right, supporting Ukraine, he added, was a guarantee for European security. Just imagine if Putin got his way. Ukraine under the boot of Russian occupation, his forces pressing against a longer border with NATO, and the significantly increased risk of an armed attack against us. All right, so you see what's going on, man. All right, so war is coming. All right, and if it be the Lord's will, later today I'll come back and basically do a second part to this video, and add more to it. But right now I just I gotta head out. All right, so with that being said, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Ratazad, this lesson is edifying, and on to the next one, Shalom.